the guys that you should stop dating by the time you're 30. I know that we have all dated our fair share of dudes. As a matter of fact, it comes with the job description of being a woman. You must date a certain number of frogs before you find your Prince Charming. You know, all of that great stuff. Honestly, I think that having some kind of dating history is a part of growing up. But just make sure that you're actually learning from your past romantic mistakes and don't repeat them in the future. But in case you need a refresher on what not to do, now here are 6 guys that you should stop dating by the time you turn 30. Okay, number 1, the really busy entrepreneur guys. Look, I'm all about getting your shit together. I'm all about, having a strong work ethic, because I've got that going for me too. But guys that are new to the business world are a big fat no once you've hit a certain age. I mean, like, you're almost 30 or maybe gone past 30 and you're not a kid anymore. You want to settle, you want to start having babies. This is the age where you've begun to hit your stride, big or small, I don't care. You've got your life and your work balance together. So dating a guy who doesn't have his act fully together or who seems too busy with his business or with his new job is going to bring you down. It's great that he's got his hustle all together, but a guy who doesn't think being with you is a priority is a guy who isn't good enough for you. Take that to the bank. Number 2, the roller coaster kind of guy, also known as going nowhere, Mr. Perspective kind of guy. He says that he's going to make it big one day. Year in and year out, you hear that. But every direction he takes never gets him to that big day. Because everything he does, everything he invests his time into amounts to nothing. Amounts to naught. Look, sister, you probably have a high-paying job. Even if you don't have a high-paying job, you have a job that's paying you. Do you really want to be supporting a guy with no ambition? But all he does is just talk and talk. Do you want to be spending your hard-earned cash on this kind of guy? Because listen, this kind of guys are for women in their early 20s where you're still figuring your purpose in life. You're testing the waters of life. But by the time you hit 30, you need a man who is not just going to be daydreaming, but proactively calling his shot. You've got to move away from guys with temporary bartender tendencies. All right? And this is no pun intended. Because the truth is, it turns out those guys are temporary themselves. All right? Now, the lukewarm kind of guy. The lukewarm kind of guy always keeps you on the fence. He sees you once in a week for dates, but never sleeps over. Sometimes will text you throughout the day, but other times or other weeks, he's just silent. He goes, psst, without responding to you. He basically just keeps you interested, but he never makes you his girlfriend. He never makes his intentions known. Now, you know who becomes attractive when you stop being a child and start being a grown-up woman with confidence and a sense of dignity? A guy who is insanely head over heels wild about you. Gone are the days of ample patience for mind games and BS. No time for that. Just say your goodbyes to guys who enjoy wasting your precious time. You don't have that time. You're way too old to be waiting on when he's going to make it serious or when he's going to take you seriously. Because the truth is, there is genuinely no gray areas with dudes. No gray areas. It's either white or black. A guy is either obsessed with you or he doesn't really care about you. He doesn't really care about you at all. So if he's blowing off dates, taking days to respond, being generally confused, he's not into you, my sister. You got to realize that, and you deserve better than that. And of course, it's also relatively the same for women. If she is not responding to you, if she's not texting you, if she is just there to waste your time, dump all of those asses and move the hell on. Number 3, the weird fetish guy. Look, there are weird people with cringe-worthy fetishes going on in their lives that you may never be able to bring yourself to accepting. Some even have a way of hiding some of the most ridiculous one. And then when they hook you up, when you finally get married to them, they show all of those things that you're really scared to even imagine. Look, you are an adult and therefore you know what you like in bed and what you do not like in bed. And I believe that no one on my channel should ever feel the need to agree to things that are weird to them in the bedroom, even in courtship. And thus, you should never be obligated to date someone or do anything if it doesn't align with your belief system. You don't need to let any man suck your big toes just because he wants to if you're not into it. Of course, unless you're into it, finding out a guy has a fetish you're not into is awkward. And trust me, there will be more from whence that one came from. The truth is, what you can't tolerate in courtship oftentimes magnifies itself 10 times more in marriage. So if you can't deal with it in courtship, make it a deal breaker and save yourself a futuristic catastrophe. All right? Number 4, the fuck boy. See, there is nothing more tragic than a 30-something-year-old man who is still a fuck boy. And obviously, he's that kind of a guy who still stands at the bar hitting on little girls in secondary school, or like you would like to call it, in college. He's way old. He still uses cocaine socially. He puts on ill-fitted clothes that don't even match his age. He's just a grown-ass man who is still nostalgic for the glory days. And he's still afraid to leave it behind so that he could forge ahead into the future. Now, don't get me wrong. He could be that kind of guy that is pretty much charming, and just maybe a small part of that insecure girl you once were a long time ago will be tempted to let him buy you a drink. But don't fall into his trap, because he will not call you back. He will never commit, and invariably he's going to be an enormous waste of your time. I mean, come on, that's not even your type. Okay? The mama's boy, number 5. Come on, oh my god, I dislike this type of guys. The mama's boy. Kai. I dislike this kind of boys. Right? There is this old saying that goes, marry a man who loves his mother. But it should really be, date a man who loves his mother, but not more than he loves you. Now, a mama's boy has got to be that one that has been catered to his entire life and can do nothing, absolutely nothing for himself. He can't even iron his shirt or change a light bulb. He's been super spoiled all his life. He's got everything going for him. He's got an entitled attitude. You know, he brags about things, he nags about it when he doesn't get things going his way. This is not sexy at all. This is not a sexy man to date at all. Trust me. He might be the body, but he's not a sexy man to date at all. As a grown-ass lady who really wants something serious with a man, you should absolutely not be competing with a man's mother that you can never even compete with. Imagine the family holidays that you will have to give up because this mama's boy refuses to compromise, lest he upsets his mother. Doesn't that sound like your own personal brand of hell? You don't want that. It is a ridiculous thing to have a boyfriend who's got his mother idealized, worse still, even idolized. And like it or not, you will never be able to live up to his set of absurd standards. He's always going to listen to his mother, choose to eat his mother's meals over yours during holidays, run your relationship issues by his mother, make decisions for your own house through his mother. You could never compete with that. You could never compete with that. You would always have issues. You would always have issues. Listen, ladies, you deserve to be the main girl, not second to his mother. Right? Not second to his mother. You're not going to be competing for the same position with his mother. I know homes that have been destroyed because the husbands refuse to allow the wife of the house be the wife. Instead, they allow the mothers to become the head over the house, have the upper hand. Do you get what I mean? It's crazy. Now, ladies, I say go forth and find yourself a nice, hot, normal guy who is nice to you, who treats you like you truly deserve to be treated right. You deserve someone who treats you like your gold and also make you feel hot. Live your life and stop compromising yourself or your future, which of course will invariably affect your kids, born or unborn. Okay, babe, so go out, don't date this kind of guy because it will be miserable for you. My name is Jane Lawrence, and see you on my next video. Ciao, ciao.